Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. This is John McConnin. I'm an attorney and a real estate broker. And today we're going to be discussing how to use Zillow to sell your home instead of a real estate buyer's agent. Now, I am just going to show you the things that I would do in this course. This is part 2 right now of 7 parts plus the introduction. And I don't mind doing this. I was an attorney first before a realtor. And I'm so perturbed that the intellectual property of real estate agents is being given by our associations to NAR, who then gives it to Realtor.com. So therefore, all these other people can get it. So they probably don't get sued. That's my opinion as analysis, that they couldn't just send it one way and not all the other places. But that may not be the reason. But for whatever the reason, it's ridiculous. And therefore, I'm going to find a way to bust this whole thing up. I don't want, the funny thing is, like Trulia, Zillow, Realtor.com, and to some degree, even the brokerages that are big, that have nice websites, they're letting you do the work as buyers. They're letting buyers, I'm talking to sellers now, but they're letting buyers do the work because most sellers are buyers, right? You're doing all the work, and yet you're not getting paid for it. So I'm going to show you how to get paid for it in both, whether you're as a buyer or a seller. And therefore, these websites, instead of making billions of dollars off of realtors' intellectual IP, I want them to make nothing off it, because eventually the realtors are going to join in, and we're going to say, hey, we're going to make sure that people get information they want. They're going to get the videos they want. They're going to get all the pictures they want. It's not going to be stale because they're going to come to us, and therefore we won't be paying thousands and thousands of dollars for leads. Basically, right now, the realtor model in big cities where the guy, there's a realtor who got lucky, or like I had a lot of experience, made a lot of money in the past, and then they were pounding that money into these sites, most of the time not making money, and then they realized this model, which I didn't really realize, was that you have to pay your realtors about 1/3 of the commissions, and you also have to have them cold calling and pestering and doing everything else to try to get a commission done. And they're not, I'm sure it's not pestering to some people, but they have to be on the phone all the time. And then they have to work hard and sell the home. And then they have to be happy about it because they're making 6 figures with a client database that someone else has already set up the systems and spent a lot of money on it. So basically, these websites have commoditized realtors. Realtors are losing value in the public's eyes by the week, and it's just ridiculous. So I want to appeal to the realtors that are professionals. We're gonna use content now, because Facebook and YouTube are screaming for it. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to bust up some monopolies. So here's the advantage. Watch this. You can go. In the last video I spoke about. Oh no, I didn't click on this, did I? Oh wow. Well, you know what? We're gonna eliminate that. We're gonna talk about Facebook first. I don't know that I did it in Facebook. So you would go over to Facebook. We're going to do this. We'll go back and cover Facebook. So here we're going to go to sell. I did this the other day. Sell by owner, for sale by owner. Post a for sale by owner. So I did this, right? But Facebook already knows. I mean, I put my listings. I let them go to Zillow. And so Zillow knows I'm a realtor. But, that's the exact location. So now my house isn't worth 1.2. Now 3D models is new to me, so that's pretty cool. I would definitely I do a video. I'd use that maybe on, while I was doing the video, I'd probably do 2. One I'd put on Facebook, one I'd put here. I would bring my photos in. Now photos, you can make good photos with your phone. I have a nice camera. I spent a lot of money on my flash. I've sold 170 homes. Many of them I took pictures on, and I've learned the angles. I've learned how much wide angle lens I can use without going too wide or looking or making it be phony and then ticking off the potential buyers. Okay, so there's 2 approaches. Some people just flowery, overstate, make it look great, and then the buyers walk in and they're disappointed. You're not going to get top dollar out of them except for an exceptionally crazy market. So I like to set expectations properly with real photos that are sharp and crisp, but not photoshopped. Not many sellers are like that idea. So I wind up spending I just wind up getting a professional photographer who gets his stuff photoshopped probably by going on Fiverr, paying someone some money to do 20 photos for $10 or whatever they charge. And they go into Photoshop and they brighten everything up and they make it look super colorful. That's probably the level I would go to if I were you. I would have photos taken by a pro that get photoshopped and made look great for the internet. So, because even though it's phony, it's appealing to most buyers, and that is what people desire. Now, if you're going over $1 million in our area, luxury home in your area, in my opinion, when I'm looking at photos, there is no substitute for that magic hour. Maybe it happens in the morning too, but in the evening in California, within maybe a half an hour, you got to set up before then, but you get that soft light just before sunset and during sunset, and you have the lights on in your home, and you get those outside shots. Maybe you water down the driveway. Everything looks beautiful. That's the fantasy I think you're selling to many buyers. Now, when they see your house, it might not look so good, but they're going to think, but it looks like this in the evening, in my experience. Now, the other thing is that if your professional photographer is good with the HDR, the windows can be open, they can see the outside, and the room still looks good. That's an alarm. I know my wife's picking up my daughter, so I don't have to worry about it. So there's some considerations when photos, but if you are, as I have come to love photography, and you've got a nice camera and you want to do it yourself, I think you need to have a nice flash in many rooms. You probably need a wide angle, and I would find a way. This hurts me to say this, but due to my experience, rather than having beautifully sharp real photographs, you probably need some Photoshop post-production brightened up stuff for the net. That hurts. Anyway, now virtual tour. There may even be free ones now. My pro photographers will make a little virtual tour where they string photographs together and give you a URL. I think I would just make a nice video of my home, put it up on YouTube, and put it in there. You can do that with your phone. Phones take pretty sharp pictures. I mean, I have a nice Canon camera. I think that the phone pictures from the top of the line phones can handle the different situations pretty well, maybe better at times. Now, this is where I say do this anyway, because you got to fill all this in. You're going to use this on your landing page that we used in ClickFunnels. I already did the ClickFunnels one. It was actually come later in the course. You're going to have a home seller's page, a funnel, and now this is what you're going to transfer over. This information, you're going to use this in Craigslist. You're going to use it maybe to some degree in Facebook. And the more information you give people, the more you qualify your buyers. So you're going to have less people interested, but the people that are interested have seen all the information. So, wow, it's pulling in. This is probably, I bought my home like 5 years ago. This is nice. Now, some agents will also tell you to sell a story. I would say, because of the internet now, I would say great Poway, San Diego home for sale. And why that is because some websites search on keyword terms, and you want to make this easy. And when they pull it up, let's say Google's pulling it up. They have those snippets. If people are looking for this, boom, they've got it. Now, you could say open spacious. You could say flowing. You could say great Poway San Diego view home. Tell a story. What attracted you to your house? Even if your house is a mess, then you talk about the value that it represents. This is the type of home where, it's an open canvas, but it's in a great location. I don't mean all flowery, like 10 paragraphs of crap, because, everything's changing. I think now you want to get the story out in a few sentences, but, you can always change, right? You don't have to listen to me either. I'm giving you experience that I have, but your neighborhood may be different. Your homes may be different than what I did. Now, I thoroughly endorse open house because when you get to our module on selling your home on your own, I've done it. I believe it. You want to have a big open house weekend, and you might as well solicit bids. So you can say big open house weekend, auction, or I would say home auction. I would set it up for Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 5 or whatever you can do. I would have 50 signs out around in my neighborhood saying home auction this weekend with the information. Now I'm going to talk about in a further module. And then this is where you pick the URL and your ClickFunnels and you put it there. Oh, look at Zillow. Okay, they're good, right? I just told you that that's what we should be doing, and I'd never read this far down the page. And again, this is almost all the stuff that you would be putting into an MLS listing. So now all this information's out on the net. It's forced you to be organized about what you're selling. If you're including features, check them off. If you're not including features, in my experience, you just take them out of the house so that people don't get confused and try to make a big deal of closing later. If it's important, you somehow on your paperwork, you say the following items are excluded. And if people really want them, they can negotiate for them after you've agreed to a price is how I would do it. You've got 55 and over community. If you've got solar, you want to, I would say, own solar, transfer it to you free and clear. You will save, we're saving $500 a month. You might too, if you can back that up. It's just, this is the hard work that a realtor does. It takes, frequently talking to a client would take me 45 minutes to an hour. Then I'd have to input in the MLS. If you're doing a lot lately, you get pretty fast on the MLS, but then you still have to do pictures. So it's still 30 minutes to an hour. And if you're not up to speed, and they're always kind of changing entry things, it can take an agent an hour or two, especially with the pictures. So you're going to do that work, and you're going to be pretty far ahead of the game. Zillow is going to let people search on your home. They're going to let realtors call you too. So you better have your rap ready about whether in the auction weekend you're going to let them participate. If their clients want to check off the box, you're paying 2.5% or 3%. And if their clients don't want to participate, they're not going to check off the box. And the agents are going to realize that their clients, if they have smart clients, are going to realize that it's probably in their best interest to not ask for another 3%, just bid higher and pay their agent. But that's the agent's problem, not yours. Or you might want to avoid it altogether and just say, no, we're not cooperating. But that's how we use Zillow. Let me go if I can scroll back. Okay, so now, let's say your home was in Carlsbad. Now, I've forgotten how Zillow sets. Well, I'm going to try to move around that. I think I've gone to, I generally, as a realtor, I check how it looks on phones, on the websites. So I'm not sure that I can trick Zillow into not, here, this is Zillow. This is Mozilla Firefox. I made a private browsing, so in theory, Zillow won't know who I am. So let's see what happens. I'm going to type in Carlsbad, California. And now, what I wanted to know is whether in the listing type they include for sale by owners. Look, they include all the types, it seems. So your home as a buy owner is going to show up here, which is really cool because Zillow's got the most traffic. Almost everybody checks Zillow. So if you're advertising on Zillow, you're advertising to their audiences on Facebook using big data. If you're putting yourself on Craigslist, if you're got 50 signs around your neighborhood saying auction this weekend, some will get taken, but you put them on the corners on the weekends, you put them by the freeway, you have the address on them. Maybe you have some sign ones with arrows on them as you get close to your home. You've got a signpost out. Maybe you spend $50 to $100. We'll talk about some of that in the local marketing. Sending postcards to your neighbors, tell your friends. I mean, it's the, in my experience, the buyer pool that's willing to pay above fair market value is frequently the people that have friends and neighbors and relatives in your neighborhood. So you're getting a very high percentage of the buyer's pool. That, you know, really, is the MLS getting that much more? You know, are people not searching these websites anymore? In my experience, when I do good social marketing for a client's home, and you can tell, like, let's say things slowed down for a while, and all of a sudden you say contact me, it'll be a lower price, you know, rather than the MLS. People show up with their agents and say, hey, my client saw it was $25,000 under, and I go, well, I did that on the MLS, but you know, if they worked with me, but you know, you could start your offer there anyway. And then I tell my seller what happened, or I usually plan it for them ahead of time. But I've seen that you can have a great deal of success with this, even, you know, even well over $1 million. In fact, that's how I got offers in one of my luxury listings that was sort of overpriced, because it was over improved twice. So you can do better in the MLS. You can do better than a buyer's agent. The MLS is for marketing to buyer's agents. Now, if you're going to market to buyer's agents, I have a whole nother course for that we're not going to be discussing today. I've been talking about it on and off for years on YouTube. But you can also just set up a consult with me. We'll go over all your best options. So you can do that by going, I haven't set it up yet, but go to winnerscheck.com /topnet, and I'll either have a video or just a link to my calendar to set up a free strategy session. I ask you, I don't try to sell anything at the moment. I'm not trying to sell. The point is, I'm going to demonstrate the fact that I know what I'm doing, and I know you might have some other people you want to work with, but you set up the strategy session. I ask you what your options are, and I ask you what your goals are. And if your goals are to save the entire real estate fee, I'll give you a big head start on that. And over time, all the information is going to be out there. If you want to work with reduced costs and save the buyer's agent some of the listing agent's fee, no problem. That's what I based my, realtors make a lot more money than lawyers by the hour. I'm happy to just get a flat fee that approximates the 20 to 30 hours that I would spend selling a home and saving you a lot of money. So, and if you want to do some of that work, so be it. We'll reduce the fees. So anyway, this is our module. It's going to be at winnerscheck.com /topnet. That video will be up there as I go through all 7 of these. I'm going to put them together in a little course or a membership. And you're going to see all this again. And we're going to constantly have new iterations of this as I improve at presenting it and as Facebook and Zillow and social marketing change, because they're always changing. That's why if we're going to get started, you probably want to get started now while there's such opportunity here. All right, so that's, I hope I'm still there. I am still there because I wasn't even looking at that. So that is how to use Zillow to sell your home and avoid real estate commissions, certainly the buyer's agent commission. Thanks, John McConnin, winnerscheck.com /topnet. Here, let me just put that up there right now. Thanks. I'm going to get a drink of soda while I'm doing this. And then I will... Oh, yeah. If you engage, put some information, ask questions down below. Subscribe. If you like this and you want more, it just helped me so much because more people would see this if you do that. So I love it when people engage, and if I can help, I will. Thank you.